Hey everybody, welcome to GARDNSOUND 365. My name is GARDNSOUND. This is the show where we write music every day for a year. Today's Saturday, which means that there is exactly 1 week left until this particular series is finished, and I will have written a new track every day for a year. But today, we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on writing a track like G Jones. So I did a Bassnectar track about 2 days ago, and the next natural thing to do is G Jones. I found tons of tracks out there by G Jones and Bassnectar. I thought that was super cool. And so it occurred to me that if I'm pulling people in on the Bassnectar video, they might also want to see how G Jones writes his music. To do this and illustrate the point that I want to make, that Bassnectar and him are similar in terms of form, but differ in terms of sound design, what I'm gonna do is actually remix my own song in the style of G Jones. So we're getting really meta here. But basically, if you haven't seen my Bassnectar video, I'm gonna put that at the very end of the video. I'll also link it down below. Go listen to that song, the one I made in the style of Bassnectar, because today, I'm gonna be pulling it apart and remixing it as if I was G Jones. There's a couple examples of G Jones here. Fuck What You Heard, Thunderdome, him in Minnesota, Underground, him in Bassnectar, Mind Tricks, him in Bassnectar again, and then G Jones and Ekali, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Dark Matter. It was actually hard for me to find a track by G Jones that was his own. He does a lot of remixes and a lot of collaborations with other people. So this is what I heard by him. I'm not going to play it due to copyright reasons, but I will be linking all 5 of these examples. I'm using these as my reference. So when I talk about his style, I'm talking about these particular songs. Those will be linked below. Here's my track I made. It's in the style of Bassnectar. Again, if you haven't heard this, go take a listen to it, please. It's not going to sound quite the same through my microphone. What I'm going to do with this track is deconstruct it and reconstruct it as if I was G Jones. In terms of his style, it's similar to Bassnectar's, okay? They have the same form, and if you're interested in pulling this project file apart for yourself, you can support me on Patreon. It's only $2 a month. That, of course, is linked below. The differences between Bassnectar and G Jones are subtle, but they're important. So the percussion, for the most part, is the same. It's that same sort of understated 808 type of percussion. Very exciting, but there's not a whole lot of technical sound design that goes into it. They're just basic samples. Where G Jones differs most from Bassnectar is the complexity of the drop. G Jones's drops tend to be much more minimal and less grimy. They're much cleaner sounding. There's not as much distortion. There's a fruit fly flying around in my studio, and I'm gonna kill it. Where did it go? I'm gonna get it. When I see it, I'm gonna get it. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna leave all the percussion pretty much exactly the same, and under the basses section, I'm going to turn off my hover pad. I'm going to actually delete that track. So let's go ahead and do a save as so I don't ruin this project, because I really like this song a lot. 358 songs in a row, guys. All right, so we're getting rid of my hover. We're going to get rid of the main ARP and trade it out for something else. The ARP thing, we're going to get rid of that too. The main ARP is going to stay. Vocals, I don't think we can have this track be the same thing without those. Effects, we're going to cut down on these big time. He doesn't really use very many effects on the actual drop itself, so I'm going to be cutting those out. And this riser, again, isn't something he would use. And I'm going to go ahead and delete everything after this first drop, because we're going to be changing up our form just slightly. So when I say his style is very clean, I mean literally that there's just not as much distortion on it. The sound tends to be more raw, sine wave type of driven stuff. Think of EEPROM, but with less grainy stuff in it. He's like the clean EEPROM, I would say. Let's play back what we've got. He also does a lot of transposition modulation on his subs, so you get that whoa or that woo, woo. It's a very trap thing to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually remove the noise from this sub, because his sub would be clean, it wouldn't have any noise, so I'm going to turn off my noise generator. Let's do a little bit of transposition modulation on this. We're also going to turn this down a bit. He wouldn't be at 180, he'd be at like 145. Again, he's more of a trap producer and less of a heavy bass producer. Alright, so I'm just messing with this bass line a little bit. Alright, so without even getting into it, I know we have to replace that ARP. It's just not G Jones's style. We need something a lot cleaner than that. So what I'm going to do is try to replicate that using my virus here, to give you an idea what I'm talking about. got that kind of lean to it, you know, that boom, wank. It's got a specific lean to it that Bassnectar doesn't have. We're gonna have to edit this pattern a little bit. We're gonna edit the drums pattern a little bit to match it. That was some fucking... This shit right here tips hard. Alright, it's gonna be on a triplet grid, I think. Maybe it's just extremely heavy swing. I have no idea. Let's try to quantize this. Oh yeah. G Jones likes triplets, 3 patterns. So I'm converting everything to triplets because that's what he would do. All right, which means I'm gonna have to redo this main ARP section because it doesn't fit anymore. So what we've got here is. I need something to go. I wonder if my dead mouse synthesizer could work here. It normally does. Let's try that. Alright, let's get a big ass 808 snare in here. So to recap here, we've converted everything to triplets, we've taken out the sounds that aren't as clean, we've added in kind of a nasty kind of tipping kind of lean to it on the lead, and we've you know, put in a little bit of some chords, some more of a boom. His songs tend to lean a little bit more, and they tend to be a little bit slower, so we've slowed it down. We've done all this stuff. We need one more thing to make this like a real G Jones track, and that's a call out, some sort of a vocal hook, and a little bit of a ho and a hey, some chants. So 2 things to put in here, then we're done. Let's do it. Right there, so I'm gonna put like a motherfucker or something, I don't know. Let's find a good sample.
Yeah, ho!
Yeah, ho!
Yeah, ho!
Yeah, ho!
Yeah, ho!
This is a certified hood classic.
I've got to put this in there. I didn't even know I had the sample. This is a certified hood classic. And we're done. And that's how to write a song in the style of G Jones. If you appreciate what I did here on this video, if you appreciate what I do here on this channel, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Otherwise, please share this with your friends. If you want to tear this project apart for yourself, I will be uploading it to Patreon for all of my Patreon supporters. It's only $2 a month, so consider subscribing there. Otherwise, my name is Gardner, and I will see you tomorrow.